Hello, folks. This is John Miller. I am the owner of Good Steward Online Bookkeeping Service. We are located in Wasilla, Alaska. For today's video, I want to show you how you can record business expenses that were paid for on a personal card. Now, I advise my clients, don't do this. Don't mix personal expenses with business expenses. But if you're in the bookkeeping world, you are going to come across this. There's going to be a client who's going to, at some time, have some business expenses that they place on their personal card. Actually, this happened to one of my clients. True story. They were traveling and they lost their business card. They had to shut it off due to the card being lost. But they were traveling for business and they had some expenses while they were out on the road, and they had to use their personal card to cover those expenses. So what do we do in that situation? How do we record that in QuickBooks Online? Because their personal card is not going to be attached or connected to QuickBooks, so it's not going to automatically pull those transactions in. But we want to be able to record them as expenses, and we want to be able to pay the owner back out of the company if they want to be paid back out of the company. So let's walk through this and I'll show you how I do it. And what I do is I create a journal entry. If you come up to your search bar in QuickBooks Online and you just start typing journal, it's going to pop up create a journal entry. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to create this journal entry, and it's dated today's date, which is 10/20/25, journal entry number 1. Now they were traveling, so let's say they had a couple of travel expenses while they were out. We're going to choose the account of travel mill. And if you know your journal entries, because this was an expense that they had, it's going to go in the debit column. So let's say they spent $50, and then we have an option here to put a description. And let's say that this was lunch while traveling. Paid with personal card / or hyphen business expense. Now, the reason I put all of these notes in is because your book should tell a story. And anyone who pulls up your book should be able to follow along and see the paper trail, the transactions, and what took place. So there won't be any guessing on why this journal entry has been made. And we can enter in over here who the vendor was. So where they ate lunch, maybe they ate at the Red Rock Diner while they were traveling. And then let's say that they had one more travel expense while they were out. And let's scroll down here. I don't have another category outside of just general travel, but I wanted you to see that when you choose another, QuickBooks automatically duplicates the previous one and puts it into the credit column. But I want both of these transactions to be in the same journal entry, so I'm going to delete those. And let's say they had $35 for fuel at Exxon. And I want to just reiterate paid with personal card, but it was a business expense. And if Exxon is not over here as an option as my vendor, which it's not, I can click add new and I can choose Exxon. So now I have these two travel expenses that were paid for with a personal card. Now what do? Well, if you know your journal entries, you know that your debits and credits have to match. I have $85 in debits. I have nothing in credits. So we have to have another account that these credits go into. In this case, because it was the business owner and they were paying for these business expenses with their personal card, this would be owner's contribution to the company. So it's owner's equity would be the account we would want to place these in. So we're going to choose owner's equity, and we want to clear this out and just put down personal card use. and this was a contribution then to their equity in their company. Notice here my debits and credits now match. If you know your journal entries, they have to match. Your debits have to match your credits. So let's save this, close it. And now I want you to see from the reporting menu, we're going to go to the balance sheet. This is going to show on the balance sheet. That's where owner's equity shows. So scroll down on your balance sheet until you get to the equity section. And we're going to see owner's equity of $85. So if someone were to pull this balance sheet and click on that $85, it's going to pull up that journal entry number 1 that we made, personal card use. So there again, this is a story that's being told. Now I want to go back to this journal entry because I want to show you something else that's very important in your bookkeeping work. At the bottom of this journal entry, just like in your bills and expenses, you can add an attachment. This is where I would ask the client for the receipts, and I would add those receipts here to this journal entry, because if it's not documented, it didn't happen. We want to be able to have evidence. We want to make our books where they are audit proof, and we want to tell that complete story where we have all the documentation together and it's very clear for someone to follow along in our books. So I would add the receipts to that, and then if someone were to pull up my balance sheet and if they were to click on this transaction and owner's equity, it would take them to that journal entry. They would see the notes there. They would be able to, without asking me any questions, understand what took place. Now there's something else. What if the owner says, I would like that check for the $85 to be paid out of my company because I want to be reimbursed for those expenses? So let's write them a check. So we're going to go to expenses, new transaction, go to write check. And in this case, we're going to choose me as the owner, though I would never use my personal card for business expense. But we're going to write me a check to cover personal card used in business expense. And I'm going to put this in there, see journal entry 1. Now, what category is this going to go in? This is going to be an owner's draw, which is also going to be under your equity account. So we're going to say this is $100. I'm sorry, it wasn't $100, it's $85. And we're going to save it. Now I want to take you back to that report because I want you to see how the balance sheet has changed now that I've been paid. Go back to our balance sheet. Scroll down till we get to the equity section. And you're going to see the owner's draw of $85, but then there is the owner's equity of $85 and the owner's draw of negative $85. So those balance out now, and my equity goes back to where it was before that transaction. Yet those two expenses are going to show on my profit and loss report, even though they're not being pulled in from the bank account. It's going to show on my profit and loss report. I should be able to see those expenses off of that journal entry. So you can see here, this is the profit and loss, and you can see October the 1st, October the 20th, and you see the $35 for travel and the $50 for travel meals. And again, if someone were to click on this, it's going to take them to that transaction, which is journal entry number 1. So everything is going to be interconnected. The story is going to be told. Documentation is going to be there. So even though I highly advise against using your personal card for business expenses. This is one way that if it were to happen, maybe you even pulled out the wrong card when you were buying supplies at the lumber yard if you're a contractor or somewhere else. Um, if you run another business and you accidentally pulled out the wrong card and swiped it, this is how you could record that transaction in QuickBooks and have your story told so that anybody would be able to follow the path and tell the story, and you wouldn't have to explain it to anyone. I hope this tip helps you in your journey of bookkeeping, or if you're a business owner using QuickBooks Online. I hope this video helps you. If it does, please like and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to continue to upload more content to this channel as time permits. Thank you.